Thank you for having me here today, here from the mainland. What a beautiful place to be at. Super blessed to be here. Dylan's my guy. We've met through several masterminding and networking events, and what a positive experience it's been. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm Andrew Romero. I'm a Mega Icon team leader, and we are based primarily out of Pismo Beach, California, and we expanded a team into Boulder, Colorado through Zillowflex, and we also are running other lead operations, right? So just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I was at Keller Williams, not EXP, but I was at Keller Williams for about 6-7 years to start my career. And in 2021 and 2020, I was the #1 agent for volume on the Central Coast, which is basically the market that is between Santa Barbara and Monterey. So that was a really big accomplishment of mine. We are currently the top performing team in the Central Coast region for EXP. We've been Icon every year since we have come to EXP. And if we convert everything that we've got in escrow right now, we are going to do $100 million this year in sales. I mean, I can't believe that. I'm just a former server bartender guy. Seeing things like this, what a blessing. We're in an industry where sky's the limit, right? Like you put something, you put your head down to something. I'm a former football player, and if you believe in yourself enough, you can achieve some great results. So, I came into the real estate industry knowing that if you work hard, you believe in yourself, that's what's gonna make the difference, okay? So, when I was coming up in real estate, and I get to meet somebody like Dylan, other people in the industry that are top performing people, I had a very simple question that I would always ask. And it was, how'd you get here? Like, what'd you do? Right? And I would always want hey, I'm signed up for these leads and they're the golden, it's a gold mine here, right? But if I had 5 minutes to tell someone like, hey, how'd you get to where you're at? I want to get there one day. I would probably say these 5 things. Starts with self-belief. It's the most important thing that you'll ever have, okay? But no matter how much you believe in yourself, if you don't have leads to work, if you don't have a game plan in place, if you're not learning from someone who's been there before, you're in trouble, right? Self-belief is not going to get it done if you don't have a business plan, okay? You can believe in yourself all you want. You got no one to call, you got no one to work, it's not going to happen, right? But hey, we're in a day and age now where you've got guys like Dylan, teams like my own, you can come and we'll fix that problem for you, right? We'll fix that problem. You come onto our team, we'll help you out. We'll get you those opportunities. As long as you're trying, we're gonna help you get there, right? And obviously, you're gonna just make phone calls until you get Cauliflower of the Year, right? That's just, it comes with the territory. No matter how successful you are, you gotta do it, okay? It sucks, but you gotta do it, right? You don't get to the top of the game without just getting there and making it happen. But let me go back to the self-belief thing. Because that's the true thing. You want to know, when I come and I talk to somebody and people ask me what's going on, how do I get to where you're at? It's this. So I grew up nice. I had a family who supported me. They used to tell me things like, you could be the president if you want to, Andrew, right? They really believed in me. So I had that support system, right? My dad, we'd be at football practice, right? He was a real nothing to something, sort of guy, poor, Mexican, grew up in Bakersfield, one of 8 kids, poor. He rose up, he became the top insurance guy in the country, in the state of California. He played college football, really inspiring guy. So we'd be running our wind sprints, we'd be doing up downs, we'd be doing all these things, and he'd be saying really inspirational stuff, guys, you gotta dig deep right now, you gotta believe in yourself. I played for a really strong high school team. We all played together, and we used to remember those values. But then, here's the resume that not everybody sees. When I was 12 years old, my dad got incarcerated for some white-collar stuff. Sentenced to 5 years in prison. It's a really tough time in my life. I was 12 years old. 12 years old. You gotta just find out, hey, life isn't fair, right? No matter what, things don't happen. And during that time, we lost everything. We don't live in Pismo anymore, right? We live in a trailer next to my aunt. We're on assistance. Everything's changed now in my life. 12 years old. Life's not fair. So I'm learning at 12 years old, hey, this can go one of two ways. We talk about people who've experienced systematic and poverty over generations, right? It's people where things like this happen to them and they can't pull themselves out of it, right? What a sad scenario, right? So then things are getting better, after a year or two, dad's back, we're doing good, he's working, we're getting on our feet as a family. But at that time I realized hey, I could dwell on this, make it a bad thing, or I could really focus on what I want in my life. And at the time, I wanted to be an NFL football player. That was my goal. I was 12 years old. I wanted that goal, and I worked hard. I thought about it every morning, every day. So by the time I'm a sophomore in high school, now colleges are starting to recruit me already. And then what happened when you're getting recruited for football, they invite you to these camps, and they look at you, and they check you out, they're scoping you out, having conversations at UCLA, my dream school. I'm at their camp, their invite-only camp, the only place I would want to go to school. Oh, you're looking real good, really looking forward to see you. Literally the next day, I come into a doctor's appointment at UCLA. Hey, you've got a congenital heart defect. You need to have open heart surgery in a week. It's about 3.5, 4 weeks before the beginning of the season. You might not play football anymore. We just need to make sure you stay alive. So as a 15, 16-year-old that's already had to deal with, part one of my saga, you're starting to feel like life isn't fair, right? What's going on? No matter what I try, it's just not panning out for me, right? So then, life goes on. Hey, we still succeeded, right? Still got to play college football. Got a Division I scholarship. It all worked out. But I tried hard, studied hard in school. I was pre-med, wanted to go to the NFL. None of those things happened for me. Didn't get into med school. Didn't get into the NFL, obviously, right? And I wouldn't be at this real estate conference if that's what happened for me, right? Maybe for something else, but, but that's not what happened. So I fell short of my goals a million times. I kept dreaming, it just wasn't happening for me, right? So I'm in this middle ground. How many of you have been here, right? I was a college graduate in 2009. Do you guys remember the economy back then? You remember that? It's terrible. Right, terrible, couldn't get into med school, so you're sitting here, you're working at the restaurant. My generation was defined by the people who graduated college, came back to move in with their parents. That's what it was, So I'm working at the restaurant, trying to figure it out. And it really took an attitude adjustment, right? Because I'm starting to wonder, what am I gonna do? I'm getting close to 30, so we get our real estate license, right? And I was one of those people where it went well. It went super well. My first year, I made over 100,000. It happened, right? That was in 2016. 2017, an even better year, right? Then 2018 comes around, right? God, 2018. Started off great. We went to Europe, trip of our lifetime. It was amazing. 3 weeks in Europe, right? Celebrating this new path we're on. I got real sick at the end of 2018. Couldn't breathe. I just wasn't getting better. I was having swelling. And then all of a sudden, this is what my life looked like. Right? So I was diagnosed, and it took over a year it took a year to get a diagnosis, right? Everybody's doing all these tests on me, exhaust all the services at UCLA. I end up at NIH. We all know what NIH is, right? The old Dr. Fauci and all that stuff. It's the top research institution in the world. So now, right there, the middle picture and the one with the eyeball. So when I have a reaction, my body swells up. That's a vasculitic rash. That rash can actually kill you, right? Because it's widespread inflammation, right? You have an immune response, the inflammation starts going crazy. And believe it or not, the middle picture and the right picture, I went on an appointment after that. I had long sleeves on, sunglasses, and I knew that appointment would be my last appointment for a while. And I ended up not even getting that client to work with me. Wow, I gave him a gift, I signed a card beforehand. I was like, this is gonna be my last appointment in a while, I'm gonna nail it, I'm gonna get it. Didn't work out. That sucked. So now I'm looking at this picture of me doing the breathing test. That's me at NIH, right? That was the day we got a diagnosis. Rare autoimmune disease, there's about 10, 15,000 people in the world with this. They put you on an experimental treatment, and it was at that moment when I was doing that breathing test and figuring things out where I was like, look, they're like, look, we got a diagnosis, we're gonna put you on this treatment, and here's the thing. A success is, I'm walking around on like 60 milligrams of steroids, gained a ton of weight, life sucks, and they're like, we're gonna go on this treatment, and about 50% of people go down on their steroid use, right? And then they said, and I was like, well, how much go into remission, right? Like, that's what I'm really looking for here. And they said, well, 15 to 20%. And at that moment, I was like, I gotta be that person. Like, that has to be me. And if it wasn't for me going through, right? I mean, think about it, right? Like, if this doesn't happen, then who knows if I have the strength to approach this? Who knows if I have the strength to get through this? And then, obviously, here, this is 2 years of my life. All right, we're gonna get positive about it, right? Here's the sad part. We're getting out of the sad part. That guy right there made more money in 2018 than we did in 2017. That guy in 2019 made more money than the guy in 2018. I had to start relying on other people, leverage the people around me, start trying to figure things out. All of a sudden, going broke, investing in myself, things like that, all of a sudden that stuff's not so scary anymore, right? I mean, I just want to live, right? Like, I mean, come on, it's just not that scary anymore. And I came to this realization, like, these things can happen to you, and it can be an anchor that holds you down that you never get over. Everything happens to you, not for you. You can make it an anchor in your life. You really genuinely can. Or it could be that jetpack that takes you to new heights, right? People ask, how'd you get here? Well, I got that in my arsenal, right? Does that other agent have that in their arsenal? And I think a lot of the time what we do as real estate agent is we connect this pain we've had, rejection, sadness, whatever, and we connect it to our personal life, or our professional life. And there's no connection, guys. You can't stop bad things from happening to you. Bad things happen to good people all the time. It happens. And it's sad, and you can't avoid it. And I don't want a bad day, right? If I woke up every morning and it was like, hey man, you wanna have a good day or a bad day? I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, let's sign me up for that bad day. But you learn more about yourself when you test that adversity, right? I mean, all that stuff at 12 years old, 16 years old. You can handle more than you think. And it could be something that weighs you down forever. It could give you strength. Make you feel the blessings every day, just being able to get up, be here, be in Hawaii with my buddy, Dylan. What an amazing opportunity. But these moments can break you. Make no mistakes about it, okay? But on the flip side, life can look like this, right? You signing kids' autographs one day after a football game, winning the top real estate agent in your region, graduating from college. It could be that easy. That's what you see on Instagram, right? You go on Instagram, you don't see those other pictures, you see that. So we can jump to our conclusions about where everybody has been. I've been through something worse. It's not a competition. We got to use that as power to get to where we want to go. And thank God you're in an industry where you can make that happen. If you want it, you dream it, you can do it. I was mixing your drinks a few years ago, guys. This is truth. Okay, everybody. It's a huge thing I want everybody to understand, okay? I'm not trying to undermine anybody's presentation moving forward. I need everybody to say it. I'm doing this for myself, okay? 1, 2, 3. I'm doing this for myself. Yeah. It's for yourself. It's not for your kids. It's not for your mother-in-law. It's not because of this and that. It's for you. And you inspire people. You build somebody up for your success. What happens? Oh, I hear it all the time. I didn't make your soccer game, Billy, because I had this appointment. I'm doing it for you, right? I do it for my kids. Like, that's why I do it. Hey, you're doing this for yourself. Make no mistakes about it, okay? Think about that 12-year-old kid. Did I need you to convert that $2 million appointment, or did I just need you there? Right? You're doing it for yourself, and you inspire those around you by your success. That much I promise you. You all deserve to be happy. Okay? People hate seeing someone happy. They hate seeing success. Right? They do. Misery loves company. I mean, it is a next door neighbor to success. Is misery. It's all around us. I think you guys are Hawaiians, man. What an amazing place to be from. You probably have to deal with less of that than we do in California. But I'm just saying, just in general. but let me tell you what, you deserve to be happy. And it starts there. Don't let these words from other people break you down. It's a foundation of who I am. You know, I think about some of the things I've accomplished, right? Like, you know, getting that scholarship to college. I think about, you know, being the top agent in our area, and it's like, well, I didn't go to bed at night dreaming of being a real estate agent. You know, like that just wasn't on my radar, you know? It wasn't. But all those dreams I had, those goals I set, they got me to where I am today. It's just who I am. You don't need to hit a home run every time, you just need to once. Think about those hard times you've been through. We made a great golf reference, I loved it. All my best golf stories started the same way, okay? I hit this horrible shot, I was in the trees, it was terrible. And then all of a sudden, boom, right? Hold it out or whatever. It's the truth. Like, it starts with a little bit of adversity. That adversity is what makes you. You know, Warren Buffett, he's a pretty good thing. He's a pretty good, you know, guideline for us to, like, you know, especially here in business, you know, like, I think we should listen to what he says. He says people are going to treat you how you treat yourself. You don't love yourself, think low about yourself, you don't think you deserve the success, the clients aren't going to think you deserve it either. That's the reality of it, right? And, you know, you're going to have a lot of people here today in business. I have financial goals, clearly, right? But that's not my North Star. That's not what guides me. It's about making those professional steps, right? You don't think I have anxiety over an appointment when I walked into that doctor's office one day and he's like, hey, by the way, you know, this is what's going to happen to you now. Not what you've been dreaming every day for the rest of your life. This is what's going to happen. Okay? Like, yeah, it's kind of scary for me when I go on a listing appointment. They're interviewing like the top agents in town too. And I'm like, you know, what if they deny me? But remember this. Your worst day at work, imagine it. Listings cancel on you. Somebody doesn't want to work with you, and they tell you you're a terrible agent on top of that. You know, is that going to go on my, you know, those 5 slides I showed you about the personal struggles I've had? Does that compare in any way? No, but sometimes we allow it to make us feel that way. And it's really important to not let that happen, right? Super important. So what are the things that help you, right? What are the things that help you get out there, come off good, inspire people, get people to want to work with you, right? Like, what are the things? And I think it's being humble. I think it's being grateful. I mean, my goals, my financial goals, my goals for my team, like, I get inspired by them all the time, man. It's crazy. Our top agent, gonna close almost 30 deals this year, used to work at Burger King. Okay? She's amazing. I love her. It's like the reason I do it. Stay hungry. Stay tenacious. Be humble. Don't let it change you. You're not a different person. When you have financial goals and you allow that to be your North Star, focus on, like, hey, I get a lot of anxiety when I call people. I'm going to work on that. Right? I want to get more polished when I explain something to somebody. I want to work on that. And when you make goals like that, you're going to make more money. I want to get more consistent with my follow-up. Those are the things that are going to make you more money. It's great to have financial goals, but I tell you what, when you get that money, you're not going to change. You're the same person. Some people, it changes them for the worse, actually. Right? If you weren't enough without it, you're never going to be enough with it. Make the growth personal. And not everybody has what it takes to do this business. Like, it's only getting harder, guys. It's getting harder by the day. You know, now you have to validate yourself on every turn of every turn you got to validate, like, hey, yeah, you got to pay my commission. I know you didn't before, and, you're just going to face more rejection than ever. And you got to be strong, and you can't connect it to these negative experiences you've had in your life, right? You just can't do it. Your worst day at work will never compare, okay? And here's the bottom line. I think about that guy with the swollen face. The 16-year-old kid who thought his life was like going to be over, right? I think about that. And those experiences, I wouldn't want to relive them, but I know I can handle them. And I know it can make me a better person. And without those experiences, I'm probably not here talking to you today. I'm probably not this motivated. I'm not the same person. They made me who I am. And just remember, like, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Make the most out of today. Believe in yourself. It is the key factor. Guys like Dylan, guys like myself, we can sit here and we can provide you with the leads, we can provide you with the opportunity, we can provide you with the best systems that you could possibly have, that money can buy. We can't make you hungry. We can't do it. Like, we can try. I can get up here and tell you the story, you could share a story with me, we can go out to dinner, it could be more personal or something like that, but you've got to get motivated, you've got to find that switch that you can kick on that can help you out. That is everything. This is really simple. This job is very simple when you really boil it down. Now, it's expensive sometimes to generate leads and create a business and do all those things, but it's simple steps. But if you don't believe in yourself when you have this horrible day, you've had a horrible day and you're trying to compartmentalize your life, if you can't wake up and make it happen the same way you did before, now you got two problems on your hand. And you deserve to be happy. You're struggling with something, you're going through something in your life, don't let that take over this. You deserve to be happy even in the roughest of times. And if you do that, you might not solve all your problems today. You're going to start compiling good days. You're going to start having more good days than bad days. And that's what it's all about, guys. That's my true X factor. It's the best I can do for you. So what I want to tell you is this, stay hungry, dig deep, believe in yourself, and, mahalo. Thanks for having me here today.